prophets come out here for his purpose, and there's a few righteous prophets out here. Okay, and Lord willing, you stumbled across a few of them. Okay, right now, all you got to do is just you figure out in your mind, all right, what's true and what's right. All we can do is tell you the truth. Now, as Paul said in the book of Galatians, have I become the enemy of the truth? All right, if you're offended by the prophecies, then hey, so be it. But if you
all right, Shalom. Call Halayim La Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rachak Wadash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Much peace and blessings to all you since Akim out there that's pushing this 100% truth with all sincerity, faith, and with charity. This is your brother Osh from the Great Millstone Miami camp, coming back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. And Lord willing, this lesson is edifying unto the elect. This is going to be a quick lesson, impromptu lesson that was inspired through the spirit of power of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. Of course, for me watching these brothers right here, as you can see on the screen. All right, there's some brothers out in Fort Myers, GMS, Southwest Florida, which is a new camp. Okay, but these are some beloved brothers through the spirit of power Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. The Lord has them, and moving around, and that's how it's going to be. Before I start my lesson, I just want to say that, through the spirit of power Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai, we have to be able to adapt. Okay, we have to be able to adapt. We have to develop a high adaptability in this truth, because that's something that the Lord is requiring of us, okay? Which in this lesson, I want to speak on how it all boils down to faith. It all boils down to faith, which I'm quoting, okay, the brother, elder, right? A becoming elder brother in this thing, which I ain't been in this truth for that long, 10 years, but I known all these brothers 10 years, these brothers you see on the screen. All right, you got a brother on the left, the brother Ariyah, which was, in the Tampa camp. Started out in Tampa camp, and on the right you got the elder brother Shamar Moth and the brother Awar. Okay, almighty brothers. Okay, and the two brothers on the right, they started off in Miami, but now the Lord got these two brothers, or three brothers, starting the camp out there on the west coast of Florida, in the Fort Myers area. Okay, and that's how it is in this thing of ours, man. You can't get comfortable. The Most High is not with that comfortable shit at all, man. And that's something that I'm learning more and more each day. Okay, we got to be able to roll with the punches. The scriptures say we prophesy in part, we know in part. Okay, so anything could change at any given moment, and you got to be able to deal with that through the spirit. And as we get closer and closer to the end, you're going to have more and more situations that's going to arise that were not premeditated, that were not expected in any shape, form, or fashion, okay? Certain brothers is going to pass away, okay? Most High forbid, but it is what it is. It's written, okay? All right, certain brothers is going to be in prison. Okay, Esau is going to be gunning after different heads of camps, certain brothers. So shit is going to get shooken up. You can't get it all in, comfortable in your routine the way things are now. You may be a brother that's 5th, 6th, 7th in command, and you gonna have to get risen up to be the head of the camp when the core brothers get, carted off in the middle of the night. All right, you may get sent somewhere, and somehow you make it out, but you somewhere you never been before. Man, there's instances in the scriptures of men being teleported. Okay, don't be surprised if the Lord teleports you. Okay, like the brother Ariella, I mean, Salakia, like the brother Ariella said, it all boils down to faith. Okay, that's something he said in this live as I'm watching, and you know, that's really what hopped on me to do this lesson, man. It all boils down to faith. At the end of the day, it all boils down to faith, and it's spiritual because right before I started watching this live, my girl, she put on this video on YouTube with some chick making sugar from scratch. It was this African chick. She was a Jake, but you know, West African chick. She had a couple sticks of sugar cane, and she turned the sugar cane, the raw, you know, sugar cane in the raw form, straight off the straight harvest out of the ground. And if you know anything about sugar cane, it's like a big root looking thing, but it's not a root. It's growing, you know, starts as a root in the ground, but it grows straight up, and it's hard. It doesn't look like anything appealing. It doesn't look like anything sweet. It doesn't look like anything you would want to eat, right? At first glance, it's super hard on the outside, right? But she skinned it. She took off the hard skin. You need a sharp knife to get the hard outer bark off of that sugar cane, right? And after you get that hard exterior off, you had to chop it up in little pieces and put it in the blender. It's gonna put it in the blender with some water. She blended it up and until she made a juice, right? And then she strained it and boiled it, okay? And boiled it down till it turned into a syrup, till most of the water evaporated, okay? And then she poured out the syrupy substance into a pan, and then she baked it. And then at the end, you get this hard tack like a brick. And then she grinded it up, and that was the end product was the sugar. And she said, you know, even in the video, the chick, she said, which, you know, I didn't know at the time because I hadn't watched this video yet, but I knew it was spiritual the way she said it. It stood out to me. She said, you know, this is a gift from God. She said it in the video. She said, this is a gift from God. Right? So it literally, she boiled it down. She literally boiled it down to sugar. She said it's a, you know, a sweet treat, which is a gift from God. Which at the end of the day, I gotta say this too, you know, you don't want to eat too much sugar. Okay? Sugar is something, it's a treat. It's a sweet treat. And it's something that should be enjoyed because it makes you happy, right? It's like a drug. It's like a recreational drug. It's a substance, as we're going to get into, as the scriptures say, what faith is. I'm likening the sugar to faith, okay? But with the sugar, you should enjoy it sparingly, you know, modestly, occasionally. Okay, you shouldn't be eating sugar all day, every day. Okay, balance is not 50-50. When the scriptures say the Lord deals with balance, a false balance is abomination, but a just weight is his delight, that don't mean everything is supposed to be split up in equal parts. That's not balance. That's a false balance. Okay? 50% of sugar on your plate is a false balance. All right? That's like saying you drink wine 50% of the time, 50% water. No. Everything has its own ratio. Everything has its own proportion. Okay? And it's a measure for everybody, of course. And even when it comes down to faith, The scriptures say the Lord gave us every man his measure, every man his portion through the Spirit. But at the end of the day, like the brother said, it all boils down to faith. Every man have their own portion of wisdom. Every man have their own portion of knowledge. Every man have their own portion of faith. Every man have their portion of how they speak. You got certain brothers that may speak better than others. Certain brothers that may read better than others. Certain brothers can call precepts better than others. Certain brothers are better with the Hebrew than others. Right? You have the gift of tongues. Some brothers are more knowledgeable when it comes to the healing medicines and the herbs and whatnot. What's going on? It's always something. It's always something in a good 305. What is this shit? Nigga put some NOS. Nigga put some NOS in their car. Don't know how to act. That's Jake though. Hey, forgive me. I live in GTA 6. It's shit like this all the time. But right. Every man have their own portions. So Salakia. Every man has their own portions when it comes to the different fruits of the Spirit. But at the end of the day, like the brothers say, it all boils down to faith. Right? And what inspired that, because they had this guy come on their comment section. Shit. They had this guy come on their comment section. And he was basically trying to get the truth. He said I wasn't scoffing. I'm just trying to learn. I don't want to get pulled into the Christianity BS basically. And the brothers was like, yeah, this ain't that. This ain't that Christianity BS. And then he mentioned about how he's 1/6 Cherokee. So he probably looked like a straight up white dude. When you know. And the brothers was telling him, don't worry about that. It all boils down to faith. And when they said that, it made me think about that video I had watched earlier. You see? At the end of the day, that's what's going to get us up out of here. That's what's going to get us saved. That's what's going to get us delivered. Every man have their own portion and here and there. Okay? But the faith is what you want to increase the most. Okay? When Jacob trouble comes, that's really what we're preparing for. That's the reason why we are building ourselves up right now. Which your brothers brought this scripture out, but I'll read it again. This is Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Okay? The substance of things hoped for. Right? So just like sugar, it's a substance. It's something that you gotta take from it's from something that naturally grows out of the ground, but you gotta process it, and there's a certain things you gotta do to it to yield that final substance, which is that powder sugar that we all love, that that everybody loves to taste, the sweetness of. It brings joy to the heart. Well, in this thing of ours, you have to exercise your faith in order to yield that precious substance. Okay, faith is not free. Faith is not free. The Lord gives us an initial faith freely, if you will, right? But you have to exercise that faith in order to get more. You can't just ride out that initial lump of faith the Lord gives you. You got to take that which is the down payment, the earnest of the Spirit. You got to take that and you got to flip it. Okay, going back to the parable of the talents that Yahushua spoke. Okay, he wants to come back with more than what he gave you. Okay, meaning he requires us to take the faith he gives us and get more with it. How do you do that? By using that little initial faith he gave you through your trials, through your tribulations, right? And enduring and remaining strong in the faith. And by doing that, he will give you more faith. That's how you earn more faith. You see? You have to exercise that initial faith in order to earn more, in order to gain more. So, meaning what? It's not free. It don't come free. You got to work for it. You have to understand that our number one desire is salvation. That's what we came in this thing for. This is what this thing is all about, salvation. Making it on a chariot and not having to taste of that second death, which is the nuclear missile fire. Right? And in order to do that, we have to have a certain amount of faith, because Yahushua said what? He that endureth unto the end, the same shall be saved. So in order to endure to the end, you got to have that faith. That faith is what's going to get you through when it ain't no food in the store, when there's bullets flying, when there's bombs going off, when people losing they damn mind. As the scriptures say, the Lord has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. That all comes through faith. Okay, the scripture says ye are saved by grace through faith. And that not of yourselves, it is the gift of the Most High. Okay? But that don't mean that it's just nothing for you to do. You still got to work that faith. You still got to exercise that faith. Okay, so let's read this again. Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So if you're looking at a sugar cane, it don't look like nothing appetizing. It don't look like nothing. It don't look like a bag of sugar. You can't do nothing with it. Okay? But if you work it, if you process it, at the end you gain that substance. All right, and with that substance, you could put it in different cakes and different meal dishes, whatever, to sweeten it. Now you can actually to use it. So that's how it is in this thing of ours. That's what it's all about. That's what it all boils down to. Faith. So you may not see the Lord coming back right now. You may not see the man that the Lord knows you will become in the future. You may not fully see that man right now. The scriptures say, especially of course you new in this thing, you just coming into the faith. Who you are, especially, and let's speak of myself, you brothers that's been around 10 years or more, the man you are now at 10 years in the truth versus the man you were at 2 years in the truth should be very different. Okay? Or 1 year or 6 months in the truth should be very different. Okay? And vice versa, somebody coming in a year, 2 years, you can't see who you will become by the time the Lord comes back on the ship. right? You can't foresee how much knowledge, how much wisdom, how much experience and understanding that you will gain by the time that time comes, right? But if you have faith, if you truly have faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, it's going to play out. It's going to play out, and it's going to happen. The Lord will make sure you are shaping and molded into that man He planned you to be. Okay? I'm going to just jump down to verse 6. But without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to the Most High must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. You see? So without faith, it's impossible to please him. And that's what it's all about. Salvation, right? For he that cometh to the Most High must believe that he is, and that he's a rewarder of him that diligently seek him. So that's the first thing when it comes to serving the Lord. Faith. Faith is the... Oh, shit. You go on to the next chapter. All right? Hebrews 12, I'm going to get to the point in verse 2. It says, looking unto Yahushai, the author and finisher of our faith. And you go into that word author, it means what? Originator or pioneer. Okay? So Yahushai is the beginning and end of our faith. Showing you it starts and ends with faith. Right? Who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of the Most High. How was Yahushua able to do that? Because he had faith. It said for the joy that was set before him, meaning he could see the kingdom. He could visualize the kingdom. He knew it was going to come. And that what gave him the motivation, the drive to keep going. Despising the shame and going through all the hell he caught. Right? So again, without faith, it is impossible to please him. So you got to believe in order to start this work. And you got to believe to end this work. Which means what? It all boils down to faith. Faith will through faith you'll get the wisdom, you'll get the knowledge, you'll get the humility, you'll get everything else that you need to make that sandwich. You know? This truth sandwich. You gotta have the top bread, the lower bread. That's faith. Faith on top, faith on the bottom. Alright? So that's pretty much it, man. Alright, that's pretty much it. That's just something I wanted to say through the Spirit. Lord, and it was edifying. I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Bashem Rahokadash. Until the next one, shalom.